Routines can be important, but they can also be a problem. I'm one of those type of people who really appreciate routine and stability and doing things, you know, repeating them over and over again, even if it's just getting my coffee. You know, I like to go the same way, drive the same way. You know, I mean, I have my routine in the morning. I have my routine when I'm at work. Hell, I even have my routine when I set up for a live stream, or I do, you know, set up for a video. Sometimes routine can help you. Sometimes routines can keep you stable, keep you focused on what you're doing, keep you on track. There are other times where routine can be a problem because you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And this is very common in narcissistic relationships because you just kind of do this lather, rinse, and repeat over and over again. Whatever your routine is, you just plug through the day. Whatever's happening, you're just dealing with it. You deal with it in the same way. And in that sense, a routine can get you trapped. You can get comfortable in that routine, in that pattern, in what's going on, and there's some comfort into it. You know, there's some quote-unquote stability in that routine. The thing you have to remember, though, is sometimes routines are bad. Sometimes those routines are holding you back and preventing you from achieving what you want to achieve, getting where you want to be, being happy, all of those different things. And it's really, really hard whenever you're starting to recognize airplanes flying overhead, when you're starting to recognize that something isn't right, and then each day just keeps rolling into the next and the next and the next and the next and the next, and you're just not getting anywhere. I did that for 21 years. I had my routine of what I was doing with my family. Obviously, it morphed a little bit over the years because you go from not having kids to having kids to, you know, just dealing with the daily grind of life. It's really important, though, that when you start to recognize a problem, it doesn't mean that you have to change your routine immediately. It doesn't mean you have to just, you know, wake up one day and say, enough is enough. I'm completely going left. I'm doing something completely different, throwing caution to the wind and whatnot. Now, sometimes people can do that. Sometimes you get pushed so much that you do that you've had enough, you've reached your breaking point, and you decide to make a change. To be perfectly honest, I think that's pretty much the category I fell into. I had my routine. I knew I wasn't feeling well. I knew things weren't going right. And it finally there was a couple of things that happened that just forced me to make a change. Making drastic changes is painful. Living in a situation that's toxic is painful as well. But my point in this video, what I want to hit, is there's nothing wrong with recognizing that something needs to change, and slowly and methodically analyzing the situation and gradually making changes. Part of the main key with that is being able to slow yourself down enough to take a step back from your pattern and to be able to look at it in a whole and objectively to try to determine what the best course of action is. The reason I say this is because it's so easy to get caught up into, one, you're just repeating your routine, or two, you get so frustrated that you're like, something has to change, and what you're doing is you're taking that stress and anxiety that was in your pattern and you're forcing it into another pattern or another situation, or basically just breaking out into something new, which is stressful too. Take your time, slow down, look at things objectively. Take a moment, think about what your next course of action is. Think about what you could do calmly, right? I get it's really hard to do that in these situations where you're not really calm. I get that. But if you can do that, if I could have done that, I still would have ended up in the same spot, but I would have been able to make better decisions that weren't emotionally charged, and I would have been able to do it in a more gradual way and anticipated what was going to happen, and minimize some of that damage. Realize that if you're stuck in a pattern, it doesn't have to be the same pattern over and over again. You can tweak it, You don't have to do it all at once. You can do it gradually. You can make subtle changes. You can even do subtle things just to even test your partner and your environment to see if they really fall into the category of toxic, a toxic person or a narcissistic person, or somebody who's even potentially cluster B undiagnosed or diagnosed. But you owe it to yourself to be able to find the best possible life you can. So on that, I'm going to wrap this up, and I'll chat with you on the next video. Take care. Bye.